The first dream I remember having, I'm just driving my car down a street, like a regular street, and I approach an intersection. And so I start braking to stop the car, and this happens all the time in my dreams for some reason. But like I stop the car fully at an intersection, and it's like even though my foot's on the brake all the way, the car still seems to like slowly creep forward, like it's not stopping fully for whatever reason. It's like the brakes are a little faulty or something, but it's like the car just like the slightest bit just keeps rolling forward, and it's so like annoying and also scary in this dream. But it's weird. It's like I'm the first car in the intersection too, so there's cars around me, and it's a red light, and I'm just stopped there. But the car wants to creep forward. I can't stop. I keep pumping the brakes too. I think I pump it a couple times and it won't stop. So then I think I even have to put the car in reverse and like give it the tiniest bit of gas just so the car doesn't roll into the middle of the intersection. And so I'm just sitting there for it feels like maybe like a minute or so. I'm sitting at these lights at a red light waiting. And so I think the light turns green. Yeah, the light turns green and I start driving normal, and then I'm like I get pissed off, and I tell myself in the dream basically that I have to go to the mechanic. Like I got to get this car fixed. This is ridiculous. And then suddenly, the next thing I know, the dream kind of shifts, and I'm just at a mechanic somewhere, and I don't recognize the mechanic. I've never been there, but in my mind, I know that I have been there, and it looks weird because it looks like it's like a bunch of bikers. It almost looks like a garage that's run by biker gangs. There's all these like young guys, and they're all tatted up. They're wearing like leather, like biker outfits, basically. And there's a lot of them. There's like 20 guys in there. And I think when I go into the shop, they're having kind of like a group meeting or something. But they're all nice. Like they're all nice and friendly to me and everything. But they just look like a chop shop of some sorts. I don't know. It's just weird. But I, the main mechanic guy, I think he's there, and he tells one of his like assistants or one of his new guys or younger guys to help me out. So I basically explained the situation to him, and he's got a clipboard and he's like writing down notes. And he's like, "Oh, okay, this and that." And he's kind of confused. He's like, "Oh, that's weird. I don't understand why that's happening." And I'm like, "Yeah, this used to happen before with my old car too." So in my dream, I remember that I used to have an old Chevy Cavalier. And so I'm like, "Yeah, this used to happen with my old Chevy Cavalier and also my BMW. And now it's happening to my this newer car, which I can't remember what the car was in the dream that I was currently driving. I think it's some sort of SUV." And so I'm just sitting there, and then he tells me to sit. I think he tells me to sit down. He walks away, and I'm just waiting, and I'm wondering how long it's gonna take. And then there's just so many people coming and going. It's like a busy garage, and I think he just tells me to basically come back another day, and they're going to fix this car, like fix the issue. And that's it. That's all I remember from that dream. Such a weird, short, random dream. And then another dream sequence I had, I'm at home and it's late at night, like really late. I think it's like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm in my bedroom, which is in like it looks like I live in a bungalow or something. The house looks weird and different. I'm like in a bungalow, and my bedroom is on the main floor. And I have two windows, I think, like two pretty big windows. And I think I have like a mesh curtain or something. It's like my curtain's kind of like slightly see through or something. And so I don't know how I know this, but I just realized there's a bunch of these people. I think there's like a small group of teenagers. I think they're like older teenagers, and they're breaking into homes. And so I'm just doing whatever I'm doing. I don't even know what I am doing. I'm just randomly doing stuff in my room, and I suddenly notice like movement outside my window. And then I look out and I realize there's like maybe four or five, yeah, like four or five of these teenagers, and they're kind of going house to house looking through windows. And in the dream, I just know right away that this is a group of like people who have been breaking into homes, and they go around like looking in people's windows, and they're somehow trying to like just scope it out, see what people have, if there's valuables and stuff like that, so they could break through windows and like steal people's stuff, rob houses. And so one of them comes up right to the window, and he has like it's so weird, but in the dream, it's like I think my bedroom light is off, and so I'm just sitting there and I'm kind of waiting to see what they do, I think. And then one of them has a big mason jar, and it's filled with water, and he holds it up to my window. And so in my dream, I realized that this is like some weird hack thing they've discovered, like some weird little invention that basically basically by holding up this giant mason jar filled with water to somebody's window, it somehow lets them see inside the room and the house. Like it makes no sense, but it's like some sort of like weird hack. But it's like you can look through the water in the mason jar, like they hold it right up to the window, and by doing that, even though the lights are off and they can't see that well, this jar lets them see like everything in the room clearly or something like that. It's so weird. Like in the dream, I just realized they can see everything because of this this weird technique they've discovered. And so I think one of them lightly even knocks on the window, like to get my attention or to scare me or something. So, or they're trying to test to see if anyone's home. So then I knock back though. So I knock on the window to kind of scare them off or like to let them know I'm there. But then that doesn't really scare them off. And I don't even know how it happens, but somehow two of these guys do break into the house or they come through the window somehow. I think it just happens without really. I don't know how it happens. Just all I know is they're in the house suddenly, but the window's not broken. Like I don't know if they just opened the window and came in. But I guess the dream kind of shift forward a bit now. These these the small group. I think a couple of them take off, or it just turns into two people only, and it's two guys. But at first, they're like older teenagers, like I don't know, late teens, early 20s, that are breaking into homes. But then suddenly, when they're in the house, they turn into like almost like little kids, like younger teenagers. And like, I don't want to call the police, and I don't want to beat them. Like, I don't want to like defend myself because they're just kids and they're not really doing anything. I'm like, well, what are they gonna do? They're just kids. And so I think at one point I'm like, instead of beating them up or like whatever because they're just kids, I think I end up tickling them. Like I end up tickling them like really badly, like a lot, to like teach them a lesson or something like that, which makes no sense. But I'm like, I don't want to get them arrested. I don't want to beat them up because they're just kids. So I'm gonna tickle them to punish them. And they actually get annoyed. They're like, stop it, this is ridiculous. And then they're like laughing, but also like saying they won't break into houses anymore because this is going to be their punishment. I'm going to tickle them so much they're going to end up like basically peeing their pants or something. And then they kind of stop, and then they I think they start to leave, or they're basically saying they won't do it anymore or something. And I'm like, yeah, make sure you don't ever break into people's houses. That's not good. This isn't the right thing to do. You're going to get in trouble and this and that. And I'm basically telling them that they're getting off easy because they'd normally get arrested or something like that, which makes no sense. And then they just kind of leave. And I'm like, okay, it's really late. I got to go to bed. So then I go to sleep. And I think that's it. I think that's how the whole dream sequence just ends like that. And then I had another dream where a bunch of my coworkers and I are driving to another place. Like it's not our workplace. We're driving and we're meeting up at another company, but it's like I think it's a company that it's a building that my company owns, but somewhere else. So we just drive there. And it's like a gated area. We have to open up the gate. We drive in and we start parking our cars, and there's like a group of 10 of us or so. It's quite a bit of people. And we're just standing around talking before like we have to go in and work at this other building. And people are just small talking. Like we're just trying to find parking spots. It's like really packed and crowded. There's only a few spots open, and I think I end up parking my car. And then my friend, for whatever reason, my coworker, who's also my friend or whatever, he's talking with the other guys, and I have his car for some reason suddenly, and I'm like trying to park it for him. I'm like I'm yelling at him, like, where do you want? Where I'm asking him where he wants me to park his car for him, which is weird. I don't know why I'm driving his car suddenly, but I guess I'm doing him a favor and parking the car. And so I park it somewhere, and I think I get out of the car, and I think we're all just standing around talking, and I think we're kind of confused. We don't know why we've been called over, like summoned to this other workplace. We're just kind of discussing it, like, oh, why are we here? Like, what's going on? I think there's something. I think there's going to be some sort of important meeting too, or something. Like there's going to be a discussion or something. But I think we're also there to help out that other workplace because they were really busy, or there was like some issues or something, so they needed us to go and help them out. But I think we're all early or something. Like it's like we're too early for our shift to start, so we're all just kind of standing around talking outside. And I realized there's like older people, like people who have quit their job, like older friends, older coworkers that I used to work with. They're all there too. There's maybe like 2 or 3 people that we're kind of like catching up because we haven't seen them in a long time, and we're just standing around talking in the parking lot. And it's late too. I think it's actually like dark, or it's almost like nighttime or something. And that was it for that dream sequence too. That's the other dream. So, and I think I had a couple other dreams, but I can't really remember them. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all I can remember, unfortunately.